Hello everyone. Today I'm back with the comparison between the Poco X3 Pro versus the Realme X7 Max device. So which phone is best to buy right now? So I'm getting plenty of requests that I'm a gamer, should I buy the Poco X3 Pro or should they buy the Dimensity 1200? So which phone has got really good camera and which phone has got really good build quality, and all these details I'll try to talk about in this entire video. So try to watch till end of the video, friends, and don't try to skip any part, because this video I'll try to include each and every small topic talking about the performance, RAM management and the UI, display, build quality, camera, connectivity and the battery and charging. So this is going to be really intense in-depth kind of comparison. So let's get started, friends, without wasting any time. So first thing is about the performance. So in terms of the performance, which processor is the best, Snapdragon 860 or the Dimensity 1200? I would say they're slightly better the Dimensity 1200 in terms of the performance. Yes, let me try to show you the couple of benchmarks. Let's start with the benchmarks and then I'll try to show you the throttling and I'll try to show you other proofs as well. So right now in terms of the benchmark, you can definitely see the Dimensity 1200 is more than the Snapdragon 860. That's kind of close to 1 lakh difference is there. Not only there, even there is a difference between the CPU throttling as well. The CPU throttling will definitely give you a lot of very good interesting results. Let me just show you. So this is exactly the CPU throttling graph which I got in both phones. As you can see, friends, in terms of the performance wise, you can see how much highest is the Snapdragon Dimensity 1200 it is, as you can see exactly. And in the Poco X3 Pro, I did detect a lot of throttling is happening after a certain amount of time. Yes, in the Poco X3 Pro, this is another graph which I have taken, as you can see, friends. So even in the Realme X7 Max also the throttling is happening, but it's not a big deal like this Poco X3 Pro. Sometimes I used to get the green and sometimes it's kind of red color as well, as you can see. But every time I do, the performance will be higher in the Realme X7 Max when compared to this Poco X3 Pro device. So in terms of the performance was really great. But one thing, just before this video, I did upload a KineMaster video rendering test. So make sure to check this video, friends, in case if you have any other doubts regarding the exporting of the video. But in this test, the Snapdragon 860 was able to dominate the Dimensity 1200. That's a kind of one thing which I thought of just letting you know. So which is best for gaming? So basically, which is best for the battlegrounds mobile gameplay? So right now 90 FPS is supported in the Realme X7 Max. Yes, out of the box you will definitely get 90 FPS without any kind of problem. But in the Poco X3 Pro, you don't get the 90 FPS. Even I did upgrade to the MIUI 12.5 and everything, you don't get it. But some users, they did unlock the bootloader and they'll try to install the custom ROMs, because the Poco X3 Pro has got a really good, very good custom ROM support. You can install different ROMs, and in this way you'll be able to play 90 FPS. That is what some of the users, they are actually doing that. But if you use the config file, you can actually get the 90 FPS working in this phone, but you need to use the config file or the GFX tool. That's the one thing which I'm just mentioning for you all. Let me just show you, friends. So you don't get a 90 FPS support here, and whereas the Realme X7 Max, you do get the 90 FPS support in this Realme X7 Max device. That's the one advantage for the gaming if you're playing the battlegrounds mobile. But some of the users, they actually prefer the Snapdragon process than the Dimensity process. So it's up to their opinion, friends, definitely no problem. But in my opinion, I would say after using these both phones, I did not feel any kind of much difference you can actually expect between these both devices at this point. And let's start with the next thing, RAM management and the UI. That is another topic. So in terms of the RAM management, I did do the couple of speed test comparison between both phones, opening the 10 games and opening the 15 applications and 5 games. In all this kind of testings, I did find out that both UIs are really heavy UIs. They are unable to survive with this kind of extreme test. Yes, both UIs are kind of same only, friends. There is nothing much difference. But in the Realme X7 Max, you do get a dynamic RAM, but that's no use at all. So don't think about the dynamic RAM and expansion RAM. So that's not at all any kind of useful in this phone mainly. And UI and optimization, both are kind of similar, friends. You cannot expect much difference. So both are kind of same. But if you compare with the iQOO UI, then I will be able to tell more. But Poco and MIUI and the Realme UI, they're kind of same from the beginning to till now. There's nothing much change happened with these both phones. Both are kind of really heavy and which needs a lot of optimization for the multitasking. So next, in terms of the display. In terms of the display, both phones, they do have the 120 Hz refresh rate. That's really great. And 240 Hz touch sampling rate. Yes. The Poco X3 Pro has got the 240 Hz touch sampling rate, and whereas the Realme X7 Max has also got the 360 Hz touch sampling rate. But this unit I'm getting only 240 Hz. So a lot of other users are also who are having the Realme X7 Max, they're expecting this kind of, they are facing this kind of same problem only, which is a 240 Hz touch sampling rate in the Realme X7 Max. That's the one problem which the Realme X7 Max users are actually facing with these issues. And regarding the display, Super AMOLED versus IPS LCD panel, so absolutely the Super AMOLED will be the clear winner, because you do get plenty of other options. You can enable the always on display functionality and everything. So for watching the movies and content, this phone should be really good. And even we did see a lot of AMOLED phones also, Redmi Note 10 Pro and other phones, they're getting the 120 Hz and AMOLED displays, but still this phone is using the IPS LCD panel. That's a kind of slightly disadvantage, I would say, but you're getting the big display versus small display. That's also another thing, you should definitely know that. So in terms of the display, I think the AMOLED panels, if you're a fan of the AMOLED panels, definitely you'll use the AMOLED. If you don't care about the what display it is, then definitely it should not bother a lot. And next thing regarding the build quality, absolutely friends, there are two downsides. So one is this plastic body, one is this gloss polycarbonate body in this phone. So some people, they do like this kind of phones, and some people, they don't like the plastic. And I do feel the Realme X7 Max is really less weight. It's very less weight when compared with the POCO X3 Pro. It's about close to 216 grams, and this one close to 178 grams. So it's really less weight you will definitely experience in this phone, 50 grams less, close to that. And both phones, they do have the dual stereo speaker setup and 3.5mm jack. That's fine, no issues. And in-display fingerprint scanner, this phone has got in-display fingerprint scanner, and the POCO X3 Pro has got the side-mounted fingerprint scanner. That's also another small change which we are actually seeing here. And apart from that, there is nothing much difference regarding the build quality. We do have the IR blaster on the top. That's also another added bonus advantage. So dual speakers, both phones are really great in the sound output, no issues in terms of the dual speakers as well. That's also another thing. So less weight phone versus the heavy weight phone, which is another thing you should definitely consider. So for this kind of heavy weight, what you're getting more battery. So now let's talk about the battery backup. So both phones are really good in terms of the battery backup, friends. You can definitely survive 1.5 day of usage with this normal usage with these both phones, and slightly more as well with this phone POCO X3 Pro, because of the battery capacity, 5000 mAh of capacity, close to 5000 mAh capacity. That is the reason you will be able to get slightly more gameplay and more usage out of this POCO X3 Pro device. That's a really advantage in this phone. And charging speed is only 33 watts charging, and the Realme X7 Max charging is of 50 watts, and this will be able to charge within 50 minutes. And this POCO X3 Pro takes close to 1 hour and 10 minutes or something around that. So POCO X3 Pro that is the timing using the 33 watts charger. So in terms of the battery backup, this phone is a winner. In terms of the fast charging, Realme X7 Max is a winner. And connectivity also, the Realme X7 Max is clear winner. Absolutely very good winner, friends, because I'll have to explain the Wi-Fi connectivity winner and 4G as well. 4G and 5G. That's really great, because let's talk about the Wi-Fi. In terms of the Wi-Fi connectivity, friends, the phone has got really good high transmit link speed even while using the normal 2.4 GHz. The POCO X3 Pro can only get 144. Realme X7 Max can get 300 Mbps, as you can see here. That's a difference using the same Wi-Fi connection but different transmit link speed. So you're getting stronger and better Wi-Fi connection in this phone, and 4G plus is also possible in this device. So in indoor conditions, I'm trying to talk about indoor. And indoor 4G plus I'm not getting in this phone in the POCO X3 Pro. And the outdoor I'll be definitely getting the 4G plus, but indoor condition is not that great using the Geo SIM card. That's a quite disadvantage for me, I would say. Maybe in my location, I think so. But other phones was able to get the 4G plus. Only this phone unable to get. Even the POCO X3, small brother to this phone, POCO X3 was able to get the 4G plus, but not this phone. That's another quite disadvantage in this device. That's what I'm going to explain. So these are the few things, friends, comparison between both phones, which has got what type of advantage. For the gaming, both phones are kind of same, but in case if you want the Snapdragon, which you like the Snapdragon processor, then definitely will try to choose the POCO X3 model. And next is regarding the camera. I forgot about the camera. So 64 megapixel camera versus 48 megapixel camera, as you can see, friends. Let me show the couple of shots. I did not take much camera in this POCO X3 Pro. Definitely I need to take a lot of shots. But just for the review purpose only, I did take a couple of shots in the room. Let me show you. This is a front camera sample which I taken in both phones, as you can see, friends. The Realme X7 Max do have the slightly wide angle, little bit wide angle. That is the reason you are able to cover slightly more area in this phone. And whereas the POCO X3 Pro device slightly zoomed in, as you can see, it's not that wide angle. And you are getting slightly color increased. When Realme X7 Max slightly close to the true color, slightly color increased in this phone. As you can see, friends, the quality is really great in the Realme X7 Max. It's not distorted or anything. In the POCO X3 Pro, the quality is slightly distorted. That is what I did see during this time of testing. Let me just go back and show the other results. So these are the other results which are taken in indoor shotting, only indoor shots, as you can see inside. And I need to take the outdoor shots as well. So make sure to stay tuned for more updates. I'll definitely try to post you. And these are indoor night mode shot which are taken just today only, as you can see. So these are indoor shots, as you can see, friends. And one more thing, the Realme X7 Max can record up to 4K 60 FPS. So 4K 60 FPS this phone can record, and this phone can record only up to 4K 30 FPS in the POCO X3 Pro device. So in terms of the camera, I did like the Realme X7 Max, to be frank. Yes, the camera is slightly better in the Realme X7 Max, slightly good colors and more saturation colors, and little bit kind of, not more saturation, I mean little bit kind of good colors, close to subject. That is what I was expecting in the Realme X7 Max device. And even you do get the 4K 60 FPS as well. That's also another advantage. So that's it, and these are the few comparison between both phones. And finally it comes to the gaming. As I said, the Dimensity processor is also really getting optimized, but I think Snapdragon processors are really good in the faster updates. That is what a lot of users they do think. So this is the final conclusion, friends. I did say all the advantages and disadvantages about these both phones. So now it's time for you to decide to see whether to buy the POCO X3 Pro or the Realme X7 Max. I would say to go for the Realme X7 Max. I do know the slightly price difference up to close to, I think 7,000, 8,000 after using the bank discounts, everything. But still, the Realme X7 Max is kind of really worth to buy for this kind of price range. If the price is slightly close to 30, I would not recommend this phone. But it's now like close to 25,000 only for this Flipkart Big 7 day. You can definitely buy this phone. So thank you for watching this video, friends, and I'll see you in the next video. I'll stay tuned for more updates. In case if you have any other queries, let me know in the comment section below. Other features includes the POCO X3 Pro does have the LED notification light and IR blaster in this phone. And these are the few things which I thought of just mentioning. See you in the next video, friends. I'll stay tuned for more updates. Bye.